Well, a bill introduced last week in California is proposing a new strategy meant to curb gun violence in schools. The legislation would require parents to disclose to schools whether or not they have firearms in their home and how the guns are stored. It comes on the heels of last year's deadly shooting at a Michigan high school. State Senator Anthony Portatino wrote and introduced the bill, and he joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, so let us get into it. I want you to explain just how this bill would work and what it's meant to do.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. This is an important topic. As a parent, as a community member, we've got to do more to make our kids safe on campus. We saw in Michigan that there was a credible threat that the school district knew about and then didn't act upon it. So that's an important piece. You know, in California law, school districts can search a locker, a backpack, a car, but it's discretionary. What this bill says, if you receive a credible threat that there's going to be a violent incident, and we know about 90% of the time there are those in social media and other methods, it's known, you must follow through. The other piece is what you alluded to. When you register your kid for school, you're going to have to disclose whether there's a gun in that house, whether it's properly stored. California has strong safe storage laws. I know because I wrote them. And you're going to have to disclose whether that gun is properly stored and whether your kid has access, because that would allow law enforcement to assess the level of threat if, God forbid, your kid was implicated or was being known to make one of those threats on campus. And then the third piece is we want school districts to educate parents about safe storage, why it's important to safely store your firearm. So the bill does three things.
Okay, so the first component and the last component I totally get. It's the second component that I think might be challenging. I mean, how do you make people disclose this sort of information? What if somebody just chooses not to fill out the form?
That's the great question. What we're doing, first of all, is I'm relying on the goodwill of, law-abiding citizens who, are hunters or whatever. There's no stigma. If you have your gun, you should tell the truth. We are looking at different enforcement mechanisms, whether there should be civil penalties or criminal penalties. We're looking at the enforcement aspect of it. But my first intention is to rely on the goodwill of people to say, yeah, I've got a gun and I properly lock it and I properly store it. So those are the three pieces. But you're right. That's the key. If somebody's going to lie, we got to have a mechanism to make sure that they're forthright and honest. Because frankly, I don't want to read in the newspaper about another tragedy on campus. I don't want to have to explain to a grandma that, why their third grader got shot, or the spouse of a teacher or a maintenance person on campus. These violent accidents, should we know about them ahead of time, we should properly investigate them, and we should make sure that guns are properly stored and not in the wrong hands.
So you know what people are going to say, though, right? They're going to say, listen, your job is to teach the kids, and I'll do what I do at home. This is none of your business. You are trying to, sort of reach into my home, and this is an invasion of privacy. It's overreach. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, the opposition is already starting with false rumors saying we're going to come into their homes and search their homes. So we're not going to do that. All we're doing is saying disclose whether you have a weapon in your home, whether it's properly locked. You have to draw the line somewhere in society. And to me, one of the most basic responsibilities of all of us is to send our kids off to school and know they're going to be safe and they're going to come home with an education and they're not going to be shot on campus. I think that's a fundamental right of every student to go to school and feel safe, and for every parent to send your kid off to school and know that they're going to be safe. And so if that makes some other folks uncomfortable, on this case, I'd rather err on the side of student safety than somebody's perception that disclosing to a school district whether you have a firearm in your house and whether it's properly locked and stored, I'd rather err on the side of the school district and the kids.
The thing about these sort of efforts is that it's a little bit like legislating responsible parenting. So I wonder how effective you think this is going to be.
Well, I think in concert, all three aspects of it working together are going to be effective. And remember, we know that in over 60% of these instances, kids get these guns from a family member or a friend. I mean, we know from the data, this is a legitimate public policy effort to stop a legitimate problem. And so I think that's the part of my job is to articulate why. I mean, we know 90% of the times the threats are made known ahead of time. We know that where the guns come from most of the time. So we have to articulate those things. But you're right, and that's the role of the government. You can make the same argument about a motorcycle helmet or a bike helmet. And we make sure that, kids wear bike helmets because it's in their best interest. And so we have to, as a society, say it's in the best interest of all of us to do this. Frankly, I wish this wasn't an American problem. I wish we didn't have a situation of mass shootings. I wish we could all send our kids and know it doesn't happen here. And that's part of the problem of why this bill is necessary. Because a lot of administrators will say, oh, this isn't going to happen on our campus. Our kids are safe. And they're hesitant to act. And that's what happened in Michigan, that hesitancy. And so what I want to do is take the politics out of this equation and say, if there's a credible threat, you must act. And if the administrator wants to blame somebody, blame me. I'd rather people get mad at me and know that we prevented a shooting somewhere on a campus and we don't have, dead third graders. That's the challenge here. Yeah. We want to make sure our kids are safe.
So really quickly, how are things looking for this? Are you getting the support that you need?
I think we're going to get concerns on both the right and the left, which tells me we're in the right spot. I think obviously the right is going to fight it on the gun rights and the privacy issues. And I think some folks are going to ask, is it an invasion of privacy? Is it, are there, those type issues? But again, under California law, a school district can already search a backpack. What I'm saying is you must search that backpack if there's a credible threat in writing, through social media. And again, we know that in 90% of these instances, that information's out there. Do your job, investigate it, and let's make sure that the guns aren't on campus and kids don't get killed.
All right, Senator Anthony Portatino, thank you so much.
Thanks, Anne-Marie.